No amount of time will make us stray. We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will say your name again. Every step we take is true as we continue to search for you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until there is justice for all. For all the lost, both near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. We will continue to pray until you're home to stay.
Hi, everybody. Okay. Oh, crap. What did I do? Okay, so I had a conversation with Derwood. Don't worry, guys. This is going to take about 2 minutes of time. And I asked permission to release what he said. He said, sure, go ahead, and gave me some other stuff to say. So here is, hopefully, too far. Hopefully you guys can see it. So I asked him, because I had asked him a question, and he said if I wanted to know more information to talk to Kent. And so I asked him, I said, well, what makes you think Kent knows so much, essentially? And he said, we have shared info over the last 6 months. Back when he was on with Sonny and Charmaine, I was the only one saying that the children weren't in the woods. They weren't murdered or abducted by strangers. Sonny and Char called me a liar, said I must be involved because I knew too much, that I had no reason to inject myself into the case other than protecting Daniel. For some reason, I told them all about Patty asking me to help and that it was family. I told them how Daniel came to me to tell me that he thought Cindy was setting him up. So I looked into it, and I believe Daniel was not guilty of unaliving. But he and Malaya are guilty of some terrible acts, and their rug use attracted some very dangerous people around the children. I'm sure Malaya's relatives, who happen to be native, intervened with Malaya's cooperation and removed Jack and Lily from Lansdowne. Let me be clear. I believe Malaya's relatives intervened to save Jack and Lily's lives. I believe the RCMP have known this very early on. Kent started to believe what I was saying, and the two of us found many indications that that's what was going on. Kent is great on the internet. I am not. We work together, and he knows a lot. I said, I agree. They're not in the woods, because I don't think they are. There is no way that they are, in my opinion. I also do not think they were abducted by strangers. I cannot say I agree with not unaliving them, though. I kind of get why you spoke out. They are family. I think it's more about what you said and how you spoke out that has bugged people. I think you are telling the truth about Patty asking you to help. I do not think Cindy likes Daniel at all, but there was a time that you said if Daniel is involved, then the kids were not alive. I agree that rugs around the kids is very dangerous for many reasons, and I stand by what I said. Though I think, sorry, Derwood, I think you're full of crap. I asked him if I could share it. He said yes. He said to go ahead and add that Brad Wong is telling the truth. He said I also might as well tell you I'm done with it all. The RCMP are the only ones who can finish this, and I'm tired of dealing with liars and truth twisters for subs and views. Thanks. Anything you find, give it to the cops and then to Kent. Not to a PI or not just to the cops. He wants to give it to Kent. Yeah, no thank you. Sorry, but no thank you. Not gonna happen. I think you're full of crap. Um, for the most part. Hi, everybody. That was the Durward portion of this case, of this live, I guess I should say. So, I I want to go over Johnathan Boley, but before I do that, I want to go over one second. I want to go over this. Um, about filicide. So there's 5 types of filicide. The altruistic, which is out of love, which basically means unaliving them is in their best interest. Okay. Um, acutely psychotic filicide, which is psychotic or delirious. You kill the child without any comprehensible motive. Fatal maltreatment filicide, so not the anticipated outcome, aka CA, neglect. Munchausen by proxy, which is, I think, where Jack and Lily fall. Unwanted child filicide. Child is a hindrance. Child is in the way of something that I have here mother, but it could be father as well. I guess that Jack and Lily could fall under that. For Daniel Marto. And then spousal revenge. That the child is unalive to emotionally harm the other parent. Again, Jack and Lily could fall under that one as well. And since my mouse doesn't want to work, so it's greater within the first year of life for this to happen. But a parent who kills, again, I have mother, but it's a parent who kills their child frequently has one of the following: depression. Jack and Lily check. Psychosis. I'm not going to check that one for Jack and Lily. Mental health issues, check. Unaliving oneself, I'm not going to put that one under them. Economic stress, we know that Daniel and Malaya had that. Socially isolated, we know that at least Malaya, from what I can tell, was socially isolated. Full-time caregivers. I mean, can we really call them caregivers? Because they didn't really seem to care. Victims of DV, very possible. Relationship problems, you can check that one. And substance abuse, you can check that one. So I think they checked a lot of the boxes there as possibly being victims of filicide. Just my opinion, and my opinion only. Okay, so to go to Johnathan Boley. Before I dox anybody, change that. So I did a document trying to keep this somewhat I had way too many tabs open earlier. I tried. I had like 10 million tabs open. Sorry, guys. Hold on. So I guess you're just not going to be able to see it right now. Okay, so on the 31st, so yesterday at 4 a.m., the neighbors heard a loud boom. They couldn't figure out where it was coming from. But I guess, according to what we'll hear here in a little bit, for the last couple weeks, they had been hearing loud booms, but they couldn't figure out where they were coming from. And my question is, and I live in a rural county, if I hear a boom consistently, like more than once in a short period of time, by that I mean a week, I'm going to be calling my sheriff's department going, this is abnormal. Now, that being said, I hear loud booms all the time. I also live by a Navy base. So loud booms are kind of normal for my area. I guess I should say my county, really. So he was last seen at 11:30 a.m. supposedly by his brother, who was 6, and they were playing by a fence line. And hold on, give me just a second. I gotta try to. Yep, there. You guys are blowing up chat. Okay. I don't remember. Oh, with his brother by the fence line, and supposedly he took off with the family dog. Brother went and got dad, who for some reason waited 2 hours to call the cops to say my kid's missing, which I don't understand. So let me go over here to chat real quick. So Lynn said, I know people who have a rug dependency stay home and don't visit. They'd rather not hear people complain about it and see them, and they want to stay close to rugs when they want to take more. Possibly, yes. I mean, yes, but that's why for that one, for Jack and Lily, like I said, it seems like Malaya might have been isolated a little bit. She was out there. And what I mean by that, she didn't have family really close by, right? I think her mom lived, what, hour and 15 minutes away, hour and a half away, something like that. Charmaine or somebody can correct me on that, but I think it was like an hour and 15 minutes to hour and 45 minutes away. Yeah, her grandma lived in Truro, but I mean, what, you go there every, what, let's say once a month to do laundry? I don't consider that close, whereas where they were living, they had essentially all of Daniel's family, right? Janie lived on the property. His dad lived up the road. Ron lived up the road. Like, all these people lived close by. So for me, it would be more close knit. Does that make, I don't know if I'm getting that point across. Like, for me, she seems isolated because she doesn't have anybody close by, essentially. So with Johnathan at 10:28, so at 11:30 he was last seen. And one article says, and the sheriff himself, that's why I put 12:28, said that that's when they got the call for them to come out to the residence. But in one article, it said 1 o'clock. So an hour to an hour and a half, let's say, is when he calls the law. I'm sorry. If I have what I have in my home and my child goes missing, or if I have what this man had in my home and my child goes missing and I know what's on that property, I'm instantly calling. I don't care. My theory on this, it took so long because he was trying to clean things up and, in my opinion, getting the 6-year-old to stick to a story. And I'll explain that in a minute. This is all, in my opinion, speculation, allegedly, all of that good mumbo jumbo, right? So, law enforcement arrived on the scene at 1:02. So, let me put up his cute little face. Ain't he so cute? Ain't he just adorable? So, these are his. My mouse is a piece of crap. Okay. These are all his flyers. Remember, I said next time I make a document that I'm starting from the beginning? Well, this is what I meant. Because I got a feeling, and you'll understand it here in a minute. So I don't know if you guys caught Justin and Daphne earlier. I caught part of it before I had to go over to Charmaine. And then I had seen this earlier this morning. And I'm like, ooh, I need to look into that. I was looking into it. And then Daphne said something about covering a case. And I'm like, that sounds like the one I was just looking into to do a live on tonight. And so I sent her a message. I'm like, hey, is this the same one? She's like, yeah, it is. So I find it kind of odd that we all went to the same one to look at it, because there's right here, you can see it. I'm sorry guys, I'm not as good at this as the other people are. Hold on a minute here. Hold on. Let me do this a different way. Let me, because I can't zoom in on this, and you stupid piece of crap. I need to be able to zoom in. So, give me just a second here. Jesus, Melissa, you stupid bitch. Come on. Stop screen. Share screen. Window. Move that over. Yes, right there. Okay. Okay. So, Jesus, come on. I need a new mouse. I'm just saying. Okay. So, this right here drew my attention, and Daphne's as well, is when he initially went missing, they said he was 4, but he's 5. So, and they got this information from the parent. So, I highly doubt mom got the age wrong. Considering she had them 360 days a year, because dad only had them 5 days of a year. And that'll be covered here in a minute as to how I know that. It was said by the sheriff's department. So the Walker County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's assistance in locating, he's 5, not 4-year-old Johnathan Everett Boley, who is believed to be in danger. I'd say he was last seen on December 31st, 2025 at approximately 11:30 a.m. in the 7,000 block of Highway 195 in Jasper, Alabama. Johnathan Boley was last seen wearing a yellow Mickey Mouse shirt, black pants, and Paw Patrol shoes. If anyone has any information regarding his whereabouts of Johnathan Everett Boley, please contact the Walker County Sheriff's Office at 205-384-7218 or call 911. So, these are Hold on. Okay. So here's pictures of. I'm going to take myself off screen, guys. Not me. I was not very prepared for this, was I? You'd think I'd be better prepared than this. Okay. So this is pictures of the search that was going on earlier this morning before the public was told to leave the area due to big boom booms that shouldn't have been there, because I don't think I'm allowed to say the other word on YouTube. Then again, I'm not monetized, so I really don't care. The filicide part's probably going to keep this video from going out anyway. But something I notice, and you can't really see it here or here. Keep in mind, when I'm looking at these pictures, I'm looking for seriously disturbed ground. Like, you'll understand. Big boom booms, okay? Seriously disturbed ground. They leave a mark. And I don't see any. Now, according to the neighbors, allegedly, they told the police that they were hearing in the weeks prior these big booms that they couldn't figure out where they were coming from. Again, yeah, even in my area, I think if I would have heard that it's going to be noticeable to travels, I would have called somebody and been like, hey, I don't know if it's important. However, I keep hearing these big booms that sound like BOMBs. Want to come check it out, because those sound a lot different than a pew pew does. Okay? They just do. So this essentially is saying the same information. However, he said he lives with his father, who reported him missing at about 1 p.m. Well, according to the sheriff's department, who I absolutely love that sheriff guy already, said 12:28. So between 12:28 and 1 p.m. Johnathan was last seen wearing the yellow Mickey Mouse shirt, black pants, Paw Patrol shoes, which just absolutely saddens me right now to think about what he was wearing. Because if what I think happened, and in my opinion and in my speculation, I'll get to in a little bit, yeah, he's believed to be in danger. The dog that was supposed to be with Johnathan has not been found. The dog is not wearing a collar. We know that because the sheriff's office said it earlier, and I'll get to that. They're asking for help to find this missing child. This is the only picture released of the dog at this point. Isn't he cute? He looks like a black lab mix. I don't know if I would say a complete black lab, but he looks like a black lab to me. No purple tongue that I can see, so a chow is off the table. He's not big enough to be any kind of mastiff. He's not got a square enough head to be a pit bull, so I'm going with lab. If anyone has any information regarding the whereabouts of Johnathan Boley, please contact the Walker County Sheriff's Office. So there's a little picture of Johnathan. We'll get to that one. There's that picture. Isn't that little t-shirt cute? He must have been, and no offense, I hate to say this because it's a little kid doing a kid's project, but he must have been doing like some kind of like ugly sweater thing for school or something. I don't know. Maybe he just likes a lot of stuff on his sweaters. I don't know. Doesn't he look so happy? He's so cute. Anyway, there's a better picture, more up close picture of the dog. Squid says, I agree, it looks like a lab to me. Kelly, you say the dog's name is Bo. That's not what I've come across. In one of the clips, it sounds like the sheriff said Bub. And in one of them, it sounded like he said buck. So I don't know. It starts with a B. We'll agree with that, but I don't know that it was bow. We'll hear it. I don't know. We'll hear it and see. Maybe it is. Maybe I don't have my hearing aids in, so we'll see. I love this picture. It's the one I used for the thumbnail. I would only assume that was this last probably October, since he's holding a pumpkin. He's so adorable. He reminds me of my kids when they were little. Sorry. He's just so cute. So dad was prior military. Absolutely love this picture of him. I would be walking on the tree too, knowing what I know now. It looks like he liked water. So here's the emergency alert that went out. 4-year-old. Again, he's 5, not 4. And like I said, that's one of the things that kind of drew my attention to this, is they kept getting the age wrong at first. And again, he's with mom 360 days out of the year. Dad only has visitation for 5 days out of the year, according to the sheriff. So that leads me to believe the age was told from the dad, not the mom, because the mom lives in Florida and was to get the kids back the next day. So she flew up from Florida to pick up the kids when this happened. And again, if you go back to the filicide that I had talked about earlier, I had initially done that from a mom's perspective, right? So it applies to both. He has such beautiful hair. Yes, he does. He's so cute. Sorry, he's just a little cutie patootie. Just a little guy. He was last seen December 31st. We already read that. He's described as a white male with blonde hair and blue eyes. He's about 4 foot tall and weighs approximately 50 pounds. He was last seen wearing the yellow Mickey Mouse shirt, black pants, and Paw Patrol boots. I love this. He's so cute. Look at that hair. You can tell that is definitely a Christmas morning hairstyle, okay? My hair looked like that Christmas morning. I got you, kid. So again, there's that one I showed. So here's some more. I think these are the same pictures, but again, this was before they told the community to stop searching. This was before they found the boom booms on the ground. And one of the things I'll show here in a minute is they actually found the boom booms in the house as well. So everybody who's a parent, anybody, chat, tell me, would you have big things that go boom like dynamite in your house around a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old? Not to mention just in the house, around the property, like strategically placed around the property. Doesn't quite make sense to me. No way in hell. No way. So these are all before those were all found. And again, I state, I don't see knocked over trees. I don't see patches of grass that are disturbed. Maybe this brown stuff is straw. It looks like dead grass to me, but right? No way. Nope. Nope. Not gonna happen. I wouldn't even have the stuff to make the boom booms in my house with my kids. You only have them 5 days, right? Put that stuff out in the garage. Put it somewhere else in a locked space so that you don't have to worry about your children getting to it, right? Yes, Amy, dad is ex-military. I'll play that. I'll play the clips here in a minute. I just want to get some of my thoughts out before I play the clips. So for me, like, you shouldn't have it at all because it's illegal, right? Or at least I would think it's illegal. Depending on what it's made out of, like, Charlie Quattro, is illegal. Things like dynamite you could get, but I think you have to have, not permission. That's not the word I'm wanting. Kind of like a license, essentially, right? Anyway, wouldn't be around my kids. No way in hell. Nope. So this is the church that everybody was meeting at, and where one of the things that I'll show you here in a minute was filmed at. So here's one of the boom booms that was placed around the property. Yes, permit. That's the word I wanted. Thank you. My brain don't work. It's too late. But I was trying to wait until everybody else had their lives done, so that I wouldn't interfere with anybody's life, because I hate having to go between people's lives. And I don't want to make you guys do it. So there's another one of the boom booms. I don't know if this one and this one are the same boom boom. Just a different picture of said boom boom, but there were 9 boom booms. Somebody come up with a better word, because I don't like saying boom boom. And I don't know if I can say ED. I don't know if I could say, I know I can't say the B word. Screw it. I'm not monetized. There's one explosive device. Here's another one of the explosive devices. And so when I first seen this, so I see this purple stuff here is bang bangs there. Hey, whatever. You guys know what I mean. That's pipe glue. Like you use for plumbing, like to put pipes together, like your elbows and stuff. And then you've got your end caps, and then you've got your PVC pipe part. This right here, I can't tell if that's like somebody had a glove on and had that glue like on their hand, like on the glove, and it's a transfer. If that's the imprint I'm seeing, because you see there's like little like lines in there, or if, yes, that's PVC, or if that is a barcode, like where he bought the PVC, where they can like, Dad is under arrest. His name is Johnathan Boley. He is under arrest at this time for having these bang bangs and boom booms on the property. So that was just another picture of it. Like here you can kind of see what I'm talking about, the lines a little more clear. I guess it's not like, see, there's your lot number, right? Where you bought it. So that leads me to believe this is, or was, I guess I should say, barcode of some sort. I'm behind, but everything Deerwood said about Sonny and I is false. I agree, Char. I'm not worried about. I put very little stock in anything he said. When he told me to go to Kent to get information on Jack and Lily, no, thank you. I will go to Belinda. I'll go to Sonny. I'll go to Char. I'll go to Daphne. Go to Shenanigans. I'll go to Brad. I'll go to pretty much anybody before I go to him. But yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that was the barcode, because right there's your lot number, and then you can see the barcode up here as well. Oh, sorry, up here. So again, there's another picture of it. So social media, Daphne had sent me a link to join the page for him. I guess page is the right word. Anyway, Daphne, you're in here. Hold on. Everybody give me 1 second because I need to do something real quick because I need something from Daphne. So I need to go over here real quick. Where are you at, Daphne? There you are. Add as moderator. Save. Okay. Sorry, I needed to ask her. Daphne, now that you're a moderator, can you please drop the link to that Facebook page in the chat? Please. And I have started a document. I don't know if you caught that earlier, with information. I'm going to send it to you, but I've got to change it where I can make it where you can make changes to it as well. Anyway, so in that group, Daphne is going to drop the link here in a minute. Does anybody have the name for the mother and child? And I screenshotted this because I wasn't sure at first if this was his name or not. Somebody said Jameson K. Jameson. Mom's name is supposedly Angel. I have not verified that, but I do know that Jameson Kyle Boley is the father. Give me 1 second. Okay. So after doing some digging and talking with the neighbors, and I cut out who posted this because I'm not going to dox anybody, but I'm very fearful little Johnathan didn't go missing yesterday. And I agree to an extent. I think what happened around 4 o'clock in the morning, and I will get to that in just a second. Many reported the dad had been shooting off explosive days prior. Mom was set to get her boys back yesterday, which would have been the 31st. Okay. It makes one wonder if he only reported the day she was flying in to cover his tracks. I agree with that. That's what I think as well. It makes sense. I pray to God this isn't the case, but with any discrepancies and odd circumstances, it's playing in the minds of many neighbors and locals. This would be a reason for the dad to require local PD to gather a warrant prior to entry. So the PD was going to the home, from what I understood, to serve a warrant. No, Daphne, honey, I want you to post it in the chat here so everybody can have it. That's why I made you a moderator. Don't send it to me, goofball. You already did. So I don't know about the warrant prior to entry because I understood it that they were going there to serve a warrant. So I don't know, but they did have a warrant. And so when I was watching clips and stuff today, the sheriff, and we'll watch it, but he said that, and this was posted at like 4 something, I want to say. And he said that since, I think he said like 7:30 or something like that, that the FBI had been there. The FBI and the SBI, and I'm assuming Daphne can correct me if I'm wrong, or somebody else. SBI would be the State Bureau of Investigation. But with all of this, it's gut wrenching. I have hope that he's out there and we will and will be found. My gut is telling me otherwise. I'll go into that in a minute. I'd be lying if I said I didn't get the feeling of something sinister in this case. And I think that's where Daphne and Justin and I kind of fell too. We just felt something sinister. The FBI is now investigating and waiting to clear the scene of any possible active, what's to clear the home and land. Why would one man have this in his home, essentially sealed with, what, let alone with children in his care? That was kind of my thoughts too. It's like, why? Why would you have that in your home with your children? Are you stupid? ATF. So yes, SBI is state. Yeah. Neighbors have stated that the dad did not even come out of his home yesterday, which, remember, these were posted earlier today, so they're talking about the 31st. And that he's always had quote unquote odd behavior, and many have reported the what time and time again. Okay, so they have reported it. So why did they not do anything? And maybe that's what the warrant was for, because they had reported it. And that there is a picture of Johnathan Boley, the dad. Okay. So remove that. So trying to figure out which one I want to go to. I think this one. So this was the latest update on the case. Give me a second because I don't have premium, so YouTube wants to be a you know what. Okay. So let me mute myself. I'll have to pause it here and there. I'm showing this under fair use, and we'll be doing commentating as we go. So hold on just a minute here, guys.
This morning, when we brief, we make sure that people understand the father has been charged. It's nothing to do.
Can you guys hear that when I'm playing it? Because I don't want to get too far into it without you guys being able to hear it. Yes. Okay. So let me go up here. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to chat here, guys. I'm sorry. Daphne knows about this case, so I don't have to worry too much. She can. My mouse. I need a new mouse. Good Lord, I know what I'm doing tomorrow at Walmart. Grounding sheets are amazing. I have one on my bed. Ooh, I need one of those. Okay, so nothing about this case. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing. Hold on.
The residents and start doing a thorough search. There has been there's been evidence of explosive devices on the property during the search, and we have suspended the search for civilians. We've asked them to refrain from searching at this time until we're able. We have identified at least 8 other potential explosive devices. We do not believe that they're charged, but I cannot say that to be sure until they're examined by the FBI bomb explosives team. So we've got those 8 spots that's across the street marked and identified, waiting on them to assess the situation.
And do you guys have any kind of indication on why these explosive devices may have been on the property to begin with?
The father's prior military.
Okay, so I know the volume on him is low, but I cannot make it any louder. It's already up all the way. See, I can't make it no louder. So I did put closed captions on to help you. So he just said that the father is prior military, and then I'll play it some more, and then I'll stop it here in just a second.
You know, it's just something that neighbors have said they've been hearing explosions for weeks now. They didn't really know where it was coming from. The morning before the report came in, one of the neighbors reported that they heard an explosion about 4 a.m. that morning. They just didn't know where it came from.
So if that were me, you're welcome, Carrie. I try to put them on if I can. There's a couple of the videos that I'm not going to be able to, but when I can put them on, I will put them on. So he said that the neighbors have been hearing explosions for weeks. So the other one said that they have called time and time again. But like, why did you, like, if you've been hearing it for weeks and this man only had his children for 5 days and they've been hearing it for weeks, why did it take them that long to go check it out? That I don't understand. I get that they had to get a warrant and they had to get probable cause and they had to do this and that. Maybe it did take them that long. But I feel like, in my opinion, and I'm not downing the sheriff at all. Love him to death. He's good. Seems like a good old Southern boy. But did they go out there? Did they see any earth that was disturbed? Did they see, if you're got an ED and you are making big booms, that's going to disturb the ground. If it's next to trees, it's very likely that it could take out the trees. And it's also very likely, if they weren't very powerful, that none of that would have happened. So for me, I would be interested in knowing if there was any disturbed earth from these EDs, if they seen anything. And if I heard an boom, a loud boom at 4 a.m., and now keep in mind, this is the night of the 30th into the 31st. I get it was New Year's Eve. I get people could say, oh, it's nothing. Please, if you got something, Carla, on this case, send it over to me. I will put my link somewhere. Hold on, let me grab it. Sorry guys, I'm not as good as Sunny and Shahar at this stuff. Okay, so there is my email. If anybody wants to email me anything, you can also find me on Facebook. I think all my links are in my descriptions. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Daphne. Okay, so if at 4 o'clock in the morning you hear a boom and it's the night of the 30th, well, it's the 31st, but it's early morning, right? So I'm saying if it's the night of the 30th into the 31st, I'm not going to, in my mind, say, oh, that was a firework, or, oh, that was something for New Year's, right? I would be thinking, that was strange and odd. I should call the cops now so that they can come out here and they can listen. In my opinion, in my speculation, with what little is out there, with what little we know, in my opinion, that 4 o'clock boom, and I know Daphne and I differ on this, but I think that 4 o'clock boom might have been when something happened. Just my theory. But what I can't understand is why one and not both if it was intentional. So I can't, but I can't get past. There was a loud boom at 4 o'clock. Why are you not sleeping? Are you on rugs? You've got 2 small children, ages 5 and 6 at your home. You only have them 5 days out of the year. Why are you not sleeping so that you can get up early with your children? Like, it's not computing in my head. That. Anyway, I'll continue. Enough of my rambling.
I can't say that that's in any kind of connection to the missing child. I will say this, that, we've been going on now well over 24 hours of looking for the child, and we have not gotten really any indication of the child being in the woods. We've got no thermal, no imagery from the helicopter and drones. Ground searches hasn't revealed anything to my knowledge. If it has, it's nothing that Instant Command has made me aware of at this time. But
his wording in that is a lot like the wording from the RCMP with Jack and Lily, in my opinion. There's no evidence of them being in the woods. There's nothing that points to them being in the woods. They're searching it. They've got helicopters in the air. They're using thermal. They're using drones. No evidence of them being in the woods. And I feel like, again, that's very similar to what the RCMP said with Jack and Lily. So if you don't have evidence of them being in the woods, then they're probably not in the woods. And he'll go into that a little bit deeper here in a minute. People shoot loud pew pews in the country, but if I heard a kaboom, I'd be getting up to see if something blew up, like a home running on propane, and I would have called the cops, in my opinion. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Lynn. Like, there's a difference between a pew pew, even a loud one, and a kaboom. And people in the country know the difference between a pew pew sound, especially if they've lived there a long time. Like, they're used to their neighbors' pew pews, right? They're used to that sound compared to a kaboom. I know when the Navy base here, they do generally weekly booms. And sometimes they're loud enough, like it rattles my house. Like, the difference, right? Between a pew pew and a kaboom. Just yes, a lot different. Johnathan may have been sleepwalking outside. I was a sleepwalker and I would walk down the street. Well, was he asleep at 11:30? And if we go by your thing right there, Mariska, I wish I could put the comments up on the screen. Oh, I can. Okay. So, do I have the right comment? Yeah. So, he was last seen at 11:30, supposedly. And I say that supposedly because even though that's what was reported, I don't believe that to be true. I think somebody needs to make his 6-year-old brother feel safe and let him know that it's okay and that secrets like this are not to be kept. And daddy's not going to hurt him and he can tell the truth. But supposedly at 11:30, he was outside seen with the dog by his brother, right? So I don't go with the sleepwalking. That kind of throws that out the window. If this would have happened at night, like he was reported missing and last seen at 4 o'clock in the morning, I could understand. Or if he was reported missing right away, I could understand. But not being reported missing at 11:30 after being seen with his brother, supposedly, and the dog. I went there at first too, Mariska, and I quickly debunked it. The other child said he was with his brother and he went back to get his dad. Correct. So the 6-year-old was supposedly outside with his brother when his brother and the dog crossed the fence line, and the brother went to go tell dad. Now, in my opinion, and in my opinion only, and I have no proof of it, I think it was more like dad told the little boy, "You be quiet, you don't say anything," and possibly threaten the child to get him to say that. Again, in my opinion, speculation only because there's no proof of it. But I feel like if he really was last seen at 11:30 by the brother, like on and the brother's being honest and truthful about it, mind you, he's 6, he's easily influenced by a parent. Where's the dog? First of all, and then why did it take him so long to call law enforcement, right? Those are the things that bug me because the dog's not found either. I think, in my opinion, possibly something happened to the little boy and the dog tried to get in the way, which means the dog got hurt too. Again, in my opinion, working theory, this is where I'm at right now in my brain. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm just saying that's how I am feeling at this moment. So, Daphne, we don't know much if he was asleep. Brother and him walked to the fence and he allegedly tripped the fence. Yeah, he supposedly went over. And the dog's not been found either. Oh. Now, the dog, I do not believe he was around. So I caught your live earlier. And I think you said that the dog, and I think that they said it here too, the dog hadn't been seen for several days, because, and it is in this one, it's a couple minutes ahead of where I'm at. So I'll go over the dog here in just a minute. Okay. No, at 4 in the morning, and he walked into a boom boom. Possibly. Possibly. Very possible. I and I'm not saying it's malicious intent by the dad, but definitely neglect resulting in serious bodily injury at the very least, for having the boom booms in the home. Wasn't there highway there? Yes. If you want, I can go back here in a little bit. The highway is in one of the pictures. It's at the edge of the property. Daphne says she thinks they need to focus on the 28th. And he had the kids. He was supposed to have the kids 5 days. Mom was to pick them up on either the 31st or the 1st. So let's say the 1st. So, good Lord. Why is my stuff not working? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he would have got them either the 27th or the 28th. The dad did. Yeah, I see what you're saying. If he woke up at 4 a.m. and then walked into a boom boom inside the home, but I think they had the dogs out there to detect. Yes, they've had dogs out there. He had children 5 days out of the year. Yes. The sheriff goes into that in this interview that we're going to listen to. He says that he only had visitation with the children for 5 days of the year. On December 28th. Yes, they were supposed to go home today. That's why I said the 28th, but it could have been as early as the 27th. Shan, so sad. Another baby this world. So sad. Yes. So mom was to pick up today. Yeah. That's what I thought, but I wasn't 1000% sure. That's why I went ahead and said possibly the 27th. Okay, let me play some more of this out. There's a couple other timestamps that I took down.
Other than the potential for explosive devices found on the other side of the roadway from the original property that we started at.
So he said that the boom booms, hold on. I am not good at multitasking, let me tell you. I think it's this one. Okay, so this right here is the highway, and this right here is the initial property that they were at. The trailer's kind of over here. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Well, I don't know. You really can't see that, but the trailer's kind of over here where these searchers are, right? And this right here, as you can see, is the highway. Okay. Remove that. Add that back. Okay, hold on.
Those 8 devices, are they near any homes, or is there any concern for the people who live on
Wooded areas.
Sheriff, you mentioned that the civilian search has been suspended, or law enforcement still out
So
searching?
right now it's law enforcement, first responders, fire departments. We're still doing our stuff. As far as just the citizens and volunteers that's come to volunteer, we're going to put that to a halt for right now.
Are you asking for anything? I know you're not asking for volunteers right now, but is there food donations, water donations, anything people can do to support them?
Yeah, so we do have a group of volunteers here that are accepting food, trying to make sure that everybody's here that's fed and hydrated throughout this process. And like I said, it's been an overwhelming response. Everybody's concerned about this child. Obviously, when you talk about the last 24 hours, the weather conditions and things of that nature, for it to be a 5-year-old out there is very concerning. And
I want to ask you about the dog that the child was reported to be seen with. You mentioned that the last time the dog had been seen on a neighbor's.
How long it takes a beginner.
The 26th. Can
Yes,
you kind of just clarify that point?
Yes, so the canine has not been located as well, so the canine is still missing. Talking to one of the neighbors, is that dog showed up pretty much every day on their game cameras at their corn feeder. The last time that he has the dog on his camera was on the 26th, the afternoon of the 26th.
So the dog shows up every day on the camera, but hasn't been seen since the 26th. I find that odd. So did something happen to the dog before the boys got there on the 28th? Like, where is this dog? Like, okay, the dog dies of natural causes. The dog gets hit by a car, limps off in the woods, and passes away, right? We could go that theory, except for the little boy that's still alive said that they were out there with the dog. So did dad like lock the dog in the house with the kids, but then the kids were outside? Like, you see where I'm going? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, where is this dog? Because it hasn't been seen since the 26th. The boys got there on the 28th, and the 6-year-old says they were outside with the dog. So if I go by what the 6-year-old says, which I think, in my opinion, is a coerced statement, and in my opinion is not truthful, and I'm not saying that the little boy's lying to be lying. I feel like possibly, in my opinion, allegedly pure speculation, that dad may have said, you don't say a word. You don't tell them about Jack Squat. You keep your mouth shut. You were out there with your brother. Your brother and the dog wandered off over the fence line. And that's what you're going to tell them. If you don't, then I'm going to hurt you. Right? Like, that's where my brain is going. And I don't mean for my brain to go there. I really don't. But it makes sense, because if like I said before, the little boy goes missing at 11:30, right? But you don't call the cops until an hour and a half later to report it. But you didn't say that you went out searching, right? That wasn't the story. You just didn't call. So were you trying to clean up evidence of these boom booms? Were there more of them than just the 9 that they found? You guys see where, are you tracking what I'm saying? Because I know I'm not good at all that. But maybe the poor dog was hanging around and the kids seen it and the dog went with them. Well, that's what I'm saying, Lori, is supposedly the dog was outside with the boys. And the dog supposedly went with the 5-year-old, who is Johnathan Boley, the one that's missing. And then the 6-year-old went and got dad. But if it's continual thing and it's a consistent thing that the dog goes to the neighbor's house or is on the neighbor's property and is seen on their trail cam every day, and then all of a sudden for 2 days it's not seen, seems a little suspicious to me. But again, I don't know, pure speculation. I'm just trying to make the pieces fit in my head, and it's really hard to make things fit that don't want to fit. In my opinion, I wonder if the little brother stayed at the house while dad went to go look for the other brother. So, Lynn, it was actually the younger brother that is missing. Johnathan Boley is the 5-year-old. His brother is 6. So it's actually the younger one that went missing. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the older brother stayed at home. We don't know, right? I mean, he just went missing. Like, it's only the 2nd day, so we really don't know. Why wouldn't he get rid of the booms? That's what I'm saying, Daphne. Maybe it was in that time frame he was cleaning up some of them, but wasn't able to clean up all of them. Maybe it was get rid of evidence. Maybe it was he went out and looked. I mean, we don't really know, unfortunately. But they have reason to believe that the dog was not around since the 27th. The kids either arrived or right before. No coincidences, right? That's kind of where I was going. Like, did something happen to this dog before the kids arrived? And dad is like, you were out there with the dog, you were doing this, you were like, because that's where my brain is going right now. My brain is telling me that dog, one, is not alive. 2, that the older boy, the 6-year-old, was coerced into saying that his brother was with the dog. In my opinion, pure speculation. But for talking's sake, if a female dog was in season around the area, males tend to hang around for a few days. Okay, Lori, they do. And this was a male dog. I'm not going to pull it up and show you his wing, but it was a male dog. Then you're saying what? He would be hanging out at the neighbor's house, but he was constantly at the neighbor's house on their camera. So I'm not sure I follow what you mean. Well, what's the dad saying about these bangers? What is his reason? He's arrested, so don't know. Was the dog the first victim? That's kind of where I'm wondering if the dog was the first or at the same time. Daphne kind of means he is a liar, so if he's lying about the dog, then he's lying about when Johnathan went missing. Exactly my point, Mariska. That's why I think it was more like the 4 a.m. time frame. Melissa, why would this man have all these boom booms on his property like that in the first place? Don't know. He's ex-military, but still, I don't know. It seems like it's illegal and really stupid and irresponsible to have such things around children. Exactly. I don't know. And it wasn't a friend coming, it was his children coming. Why would he plant fake boom booms? No, I don't think they were fake. Maybe he's scared he's going to get in trouble and is hiding. Maybe. But he's not picked up on thermal imaging. He's not picked up on trail cams, clearly, because there are some in the area. I mean, I hope that's the case. That's kind of the best case scenario right now. Yes, they were checking to see if they were live boom booms. Yes, they are checking to see that. The FBI has their people out there. The FBI, as of like 4 o'clock this afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, they were still clearing the residents of the boom booms. So no coincidence that kids arrive. Same time dog disappears and dad has, yeah, exactly my point. Rural Recently divorced, yeah. Reminds me of Travis Decker. Somebody might have to remind me of that. So it doesn't matter if 8 of them were fake. It just took one of them being real. In my opinion, Daphne. Maybe he's suffering from PTSD and was in an active flare-up. Very possible. Very, very possible. Military is, it is something that they go through, unfortunately. With flashbacks, and to them it's real. But if you look at that, he would have had to be in this flashback for weeks because the neighbors had heard it for weeks, right? So it's not like they heard it one day. They heard it 2 days. It was for weeks. And if he was in a flashback, maybe that would hit, what's the word I'm looking for? If he was paranoid, that would explain fake boom booms, right? But the fact that there was just one that's real, is very concerning, especially around children. Daphne, you'll have to catch me up on the Travis Decker case because I don't guess I know who that is. If I do, it's not coming to mind right now. Depression, like they don't have a purpose anymore. Yeah. The guy in Oregon oh, him. Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Okay. I would like to know how the fakes were hidden, right? I'd like to know why any of them, like, I need more information because my brain doesn't, it's not computing this information. Okay, so I'm going to go back. There's only a couple more minutes. This is like, we're halfway through it. So let me finish this out, and then I'll probably stop and talk it some more.
And you mentioned at the beginning about children. So were there other children in the home with the father?
No, it was just the brother.
Okay,
It's
so
2
two
brothers,
children.
yeah. Age 5 and 6.
And I know that the parents are separated. Did the father have custody of the children? Was he just taking care of them for the holiday?
Yeah, to my knowledge, the custody situation was the father got 5 days of custody a year.
And has he been cooperative? Has he said anything throughout this?
I can't speak on that. The FBI did an interview last night. Obviously, they will follow up once we get our timeline and everything in order. Well, they'll do some more in-depth interviews and see what we can come up with.
So if they get in cold again overnight, is there any other plans to use those thermal drones again?
Yes. So the aviation landed. They're bringing their helicopter out of Montgomery to get started back up with the air searches and thermal searches. Yes.
Can you give us an idea of the number of resources that are here? Like, do you know how many total law enforcement? We're seeing a lot of different departments.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got agencies from, just the ones I've seen, and I'm sure there's some here that I haven't seen. We have the FBI here. We have SBI here. We have Aaliyah here. We have Summerton Police here, Jasper Police Department, Adamsville Police Department, Jasper PD. Just locally, I don't know outside in the Jefferson County what agencies that we have here. I've seen some Jefferson County deputies earlier.
We saw some.
Now, I know I seen it earlier, but when I went back to look for it, I couldn't find the exact video that I was talking about. But there was a video of him the night before, the same guy, the same sheriff, and he was talking to the news crew, and he was talking about they brought the dogs out. And if I remember correctly, he said that they were prison dogs to help track the children, and the dogs weren't tracking children. If you brought a prison dog out, that's what they do, right? They track escapees from prison. And that dog or dogs couldn't track this child. That is extremely concerning to me. Now, like I said, I can't find the video. If I do, I'll update that. But like I said, I seem to remember seeing that. I just can't find it when I got ready to do this. So if he's paranoid about something and planning boom booms everywhere, then clearly he is not thinking right, and he felt the boom, and he left the boom booms everywhere. Possibly. I mean, like I said, it's just in trying to make this make sense in my head. Him getting the older boy, the 6-year-old, to follow this. You were with your brother and your brother went across the field, right? Like maybe he was trying to clean up. I don't know. I find it very odd that it was an hour to an hour and a half between realizing your child's gone and calling 911. I just find that very weird. So I did want to say I'm probably not going to get to all of the news articles and stuff that I wanted to, but there are links in the description of this video of different news articles as well. I'm going to try to go over as many of them as I can, but I don't want to keep you guys on here an overly long time considering what time it is, and I'm sure everybody had a late night last night. In my opinion, I wish they'd say only 5 days a year. Alabama is not far from Florida. In my opinion, I wish they'd say why. Oh, I missed a word. That's why that didn't make sense. So I don't know about. Okay, hold on. I'm getting distracted. I'm sure there was a reason. I'm positive there's a reason. Do we know it right now, Lynn? No, but I'm positive there is a reason that he only got 5 days. So, like I said, Shan, I've got to find that video because I know he said they brought the prison dogs out to track the kids and that the dogs could not track this child. So, I don't believe it was a cadaver dog. I believe it was just a scent dog. But don't quote me on that because I can't seem to find that video. I may find it while we're doing this live. I don't know. So as of right now, I don't think it was cadaver dogs. I think it was just scent dogs. Okay, I'm going to play a little bit more.
Connections to Florida on the mom's side. So is the boy from here or is he from Florida?
No, the boys, the mother, from my knowledge, moved to Florida about a year ago, and the dad gets visitations. Like I said, my understanding of the visitations is 5 days per year.
I know the father that's been charged. You mentioned that there's no connection to disappearance. Is there any indications of a criminal element to this disappearance, or is it still too early in the investigation?
It's still too early to say one way or the other. Obviously, the concern is, as you can see, the resources that we have put into searching, the amount of people that we have had out searching, the grid patterns that we have searched. When you take the ground searching plus the air searches, the fact that we haven't found the child is concerning.
At this point, is it still a search or is it turned?
Don't settle for less. Here's what others are doing to fix missing and broken teeth.
So we're still going to remain optimistic, and we're going to call it a search.
And you mentioned that there were 8 explosive devices on this side of the road. Do you know how many yet were at the property?
I have not briefed. We're briefing here in the next 30 minutes or so with the FBI and all the agencies to kind of get that. Everybody is doing their own thing. The FBI has been processing the house, trying to get the explosive devices contained and out of the residence since, I guess, about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning. So they're still working on that. So once we get everybody back in.
Okay, so 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, they showed up to clear the residence, right? This was posted 5 hours ago. So let's say 4:30 that this was posted. So that's 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30. So 8 hours. It's taking them 8 hours and they still don't have all of the boom booms, right? Okay, thank you, Shan. I'll pull it up here in just a second. So that's a while. Like that tells me there was quite a few boom booms in the house with a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old. Because he didn't say that they're working on the property. He said they're still working inside the house to clear it. Like that's concerning. Why would you boom? My brain is not computing it. So somebody okay, thank you, Shan. So I'm gonna play a little bit more of that and pull up that article with the dogs.
All the agencies together and kind of go over what we have accomplished today and see where we're at and see what the next phase of this is going to be.
Sure. Can you give a plea to the public who lives in this area? You've been mentioning a lot about trail cams, deer cams, everything. Just want to give you a chance to kind of talk about how important it is to turn over that video and where to turn it to.
Yes. So right now we're working on a tip line with the FBI. That way individuals, and I will release that information when we get it available to where we can get a centralized where all the tips aren't getting spread out to everywhere, where there'll be a one hub of information we'll be able to go to, and they will be able to send it to that. I encourage the public to, one, if you live in this area, be vigilant. Look under your cars if you haven't drove them in a few days. Look in your garages, look in your carports, look anywhere where a child would be looking to get out of the elements.
And is the mother here? Have you spoken to her? How is she?
The mother did make it in last night from Florida. We have spoken to her, and she has cooperated with us to the best of her abilities.
How big is the search area?
I don't know exact mileage or a route, at this present moment without talking to Instant Command. They're mapping. They got a mapping program that they're mapping everybody in their searches.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
We just out here working. We have a lot of resources out here. We're committed to doing everything that we can. We don't want people getting burnt out. I know that we have a lot of people that want to help and they're here. But what we don't need is people that are willing to volunteer to get here day one and day two and get burnt out, and this thing turn into a week-long search. And then we get toward the end of the week and we don't have additional resources and we don't have help from the community.
Sure. Can we expect any more updates from you tonight?
Yeah, once I'm able to get our briefing done here in the next 30 minutes or so, and I get more information, I'll be more than willing to update everybody.
Sure.
All right, thank you. Make sure it has-
So I haven't come across where he updated the public. I'm pretty sure he updated the media that was there. So I will continue following this case and Jack and Lily, of course. I will not forget about Jack and Lily. They have to, I'm going to say, use specialized robotics to remove the boom booms. I would think so. I would think that they have a robot that does that. But what I'm saying is, if there was only 1 or 2 or 8 even in the home, I don't feel like it would take them that long, as long as it has taken them to do it. But again, I can't say that I have ever worked in that area or have really any knowledge of that area, like that expertise type deal. So I don't know. I mean, I know it takes a while, but I wouldn't think that it would take as long as it has. I'm praying he's found okay. Just so scared of getting in trouble. God, I hope so, Lynn. I really, really, really hope so. I do. I really hope so. So this is, I think I actually have this link. The Walker County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public to stop searching for missing. He's not 4, he's 5. You're all believed to be in danger. I would say so. Again, boom booms. Yeah, he's definitely, in my opinion, in danger. Definitely. Make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. I'm going to most likely put the document that I'm creating, and keep in mind it's very limited on what we know, at some point in the description of this video this evening or tomorrow if I remember. just because it's got links to, just like Jack and Lily and just like Sebastian, it's going to have hyperlinks and what's what. So Sheriff Nick Smith said the boy was living with his father, who was reported missing around 1 p.m. The mother moved to Florida a year ago, and the father was given 5 days each year for visitation. The child went missing during visitation, according to the sheriff. The boy weighs 50 pounds, has blonde hair, blue eyes, and was wearing a yellow Mickey Mouse shirt, black pants, and Paw Patrol shoes. The sheriff said they were told that Johnathan was with his older brother and a black lab retriever. Okay, see, I was right. Black lab mix. Seen in this photo, and that the dog is still missing. So his father was taken into custody. So Jameson Kyle Boley has been arrested. His father is in custody after EDs were found on his property. Deputies were planning to execute a search warrant of the father's home on Wednesday, but called off that search after finding what they called unusual EDs on the property. As of Thursday evening, the house has been secured, the sheriff said. Authorities released photos of the boom boom, described as pipe booms, found on the property. There's where I got pictures. The father is former military, and neighbors said they had heard explosions for weeks. There was one reported on Wednesday, but officials cannot confirm if that was connected to the missing child. The FBI boom boom team is on the scene. Officials are still continuing the search. Agencies have been doing drones and tracking dogs, so scent dogs, not cadaver dogs, for the boy, and a helicopter is being used. Divers were brought in on Thursday to search some ponds around the house. More than 500 acres were searched on Thursday. The sheriff said they will be dealing with rain during the search on Friday. The sheriff asked if anyone with a doorbell camera or a game camera to check their video and see if the child is on it. And again, if anybody has any information, to contact the Walker County Sheriff's Office. So, yeah. I would to me, before I dox anybody there, to me that says that they were the prison dogs that were tracking. So this morning, let me make sure captions are on. Make that screen bigger. Okay, so this was the update that they had at the church this morning, and I'm going to play it all the way through, and then we can talk about it.
So kind of to update everybody where we're at. So yesterday, law enforcement, we received a call about 12:28 about a missing 4-year-old child. Turns out the child is 5. The information that we were initially given, it was 4, but he is 5 years old, that he was missing. Law enforcement arrived on the scene at about 1:02 with RPS. They cleared the house just to make sure that he wasn't inside the house. We begin, so it's about 1:15, we've had drones with thermal as well as aviation in the air up until about 3 o'clock this morning. Aviation's refueling, they're on their way back. We haven't gotten any heat sensors. We haven't gotten any indication that the child is in the woods, other than the 6-year-old brother says that the last time that he saw his brother was on the wood line. They crossed under the fence. And and that was the last thing he went back to tell the father that Bubba had crossed the fence line. So the child is missing along with a dog. The dog's Buck. Dog's name is Bub. It's a black lab.
Okay, so I'm going to put captions on, and okay, there it is. All right. So it says Bub, but I heard Buck. I don't know about anybody else. Give me a second. I will replay that little portion of it here. For those that need closed captionings, I'm just going to replay the whole thing. Sorry. I thought I had them on.
So kind of to update everybody where we're at. So yesterday, law enforcement, we received a call about 12:28 about a missing 4-year-old child. Turns out the child is 5. The information that we were initially given knew he was 4, but he is 5 years old. That he was missing. Law enforcement arrived on the scene at about 1:02 with RPS. They cleared the house just to make sure that he wasn't inside the house. We begin, so since about 1:15, we've had drones with thermal as well as aviation in the air up until about 3 o'clock this morning. Aviation's refueling, they're on their way back. We haven't gotten any heat sensors. We haven't gotten any indication that the child is in the woods, other than the 6-year-old brother says that the last time that he saw his brother was on the wood line. They crossed under the fence. And that was the last thing he went back to tell the father that Bubba had crossed the fence line. So the child is missing along with a dog. The dog's Buck. Dog's name is Bub. It's a black lab. It's got a large white patch on its chest. Has no collar. So we have not found the dog as well. So we haven't seen any indications. Last night we found some deer, but we found no dogs, so we haven't found the dog yet either. Nearby neighbor said that the dog was consistently coming on the field every day on his deer camera. He hasn't had the dog on the camera since the 26th of this month. So that's where we're at from that standpoint. Regina here was with the EMA. They're going to stay here and kind of organize the groups and where to search and things of that nature. Stay away from the house. The house is taped off. We have a search warrant to execute there. We have some things that we have to clear out of the house. We do the search of the house because of the threat of explosive devices possibly out in the woods and inside the house. So we don't want any civilians or search members anywhere around the house. So
either these for tonight.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Or, and sometimes when you have to put something.
Okay, I had something playing in the background. So I don't know if Buck or Bub or what the dog's name is, but it starts with a B and it has a in it. So April, he says Bubba. I think he's referring to the child when he says the dog. Yes. So the 6-year-old went and told dad, hey, Bubba crossed the fence line with the dog, right? So he called his brother Bubba. What I can't understand is if they said Buck or Bug or whatever the dog's name is, I'm sure it'll come out. Squid says Bug too. Okay, well, like I said, I couldn't quite make it out. But that's just me, and closed caption says Bub, but I don't think that the dog's name would be Bub, and the 6-year-old would refer to his brother as Bubba, but again, maybe. I don't know. Sounds like Bug, NCC Daily's Bug. Yeah, maybe. So, anyway, that's kind of all there is right now. I mean, there's some more articles, but pretty much all of the articles say essentially the same thing, and I don't really feel like repeating myself 5 billion times. So I will try to stay somewhat up to date with this case. I know if I don't see something, I know I can watch Daphne or Justin and they'll have it. And again, I'll still show things about Jack and Lily. I think I'm going on with Charmaine tomorrow for the 8-month. I don't want to say anniversary, but the 8-month mark of Jack and Lily being missing. So make sure you guys tune into that. I know Justin and Daphne did a good live earlier today. One of the ones that I was waiting for to get over with. They covered Johnathan as well. So with that, again, here is his poster. The Walker County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's assistance in locating Johnathan Everett Boley, who is believed to be in danger. He was last seen on December 31st, 2025 at approximately 11:30 a.m. in the 7000 block of Highway 195 in Jasper, Alabama. Johnathan Boley was last seen wearing a yellow Mickey Mouse shirt, black pants, and Paw Patrol shoes. If anyone has any information regarding the whereabouts of Johnathan Everett Boley, please contact the Walker County Sheriff's Office. And I might add, if you see any remnants of any of these clothing items, especially like burnt pieces of shoes, make sure you contact the Sheriff's Department. Don't touch it. Don't do anything. Just contact the Sheriff's Department. Searchers could stay on the edge of all around property and holler for both and or set game cams, in my opinion, instead of danger yard. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the game cameras that the neighbor had isn't moved and maybe focused a little more on that property. I mean, I don't know. That would be my guess as to what they would do, but I mean, I don't know. I know it's very concerning. I know that this is a little boy that most definitely needs looked for and found. And yes, Alabama is in the southern part of the states, but it's still cold there. Like may not be 20 degrees. So I'm trying to let me do that. Okay, so I'm getting ready to go, guys. So if you have any questions, put them in now. Melissa, you said the child was in danger. What's he in danger from? All the boom booms on the property or something else? All the above. First of all the boom booms in the house, all the boom booms on the property. The fact that he's a 5-year-old, and if he's not unalived, he's outside in the weather, unprotected, without anybody to help him. I mean, and he is right by a highway, so what if somebody took off with him and it was an abduction? I mean, there's nothing saying that it's an abduction yet, but it could go there. Like, common sense tells me that the boy is in danger. Like, he's in danger at the house. He's in danger on the property. Where else and what else has the dad hid on the property? Like, you know what I mean? Poor baby. I pray he's okay. Thank you. You're welcome. So I'm going to play out a video. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you want to hit the like or subscribe button, feel free to do so. And if there's nothing else, then
No amount of time will make us stray. keep searching through the darkest days for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found them all. Lily and Jack, their light still shines. Sebastian too, we hold the signs. For all the lost, both near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will call your name again. Every step we take is true. Justice comes for me and you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found them all. Lily and Jack, their light still shines. Sebastian too, we hold the signs. For all the lost, both near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. Lily and Jack, their light still shines. Sebastian too, we hold